up, guys? Honey Alice with you here, bringing you the Promised Neverland episode 12 anime review. This was the last episode of the season, titled 150146. This was an insane episode. The emotions, everything, just the incredible revelation in the end. Everything was just super crazy. It continues straight from last time with Phil going up to Mama, and she asks him where the kids, and he goes running to that direction, and she checks her pocket watch to make sure he wasn't lying, and he wasn't. So when she goes towards there in that same direction, all the babies come out and they scream and stuff, and they talking to her and saying, "Mama, Mama, where's the rest of the kids?" And we switch over to Ray, which that was exactly the question that he had asked last episode. And Emma told him, "You're right, we can't take all the kids and escape perfectly. So anyone that's 5 years or younger, we're leaving them. Only the ones that are 6 and older are coming. Anyone that's 4 and younger are staying. Anyone that's 5 and older, they're the one who went." So a good 60% of them were 5 and up, so those were the ones that escaped. But the interesting thing about this is that Emma came to this conclusion only thanks to one person that pushed her to it, and it was actually Phil. They explained to Phil in a flashback what had happened and how they trained the kids secretly, and Phil went up to Emma saying that he heard Mama talk about harvest once, and he confronted Emma, what does this harvest means? And cause every time someone leaves, I was always wondering, why does she always use the word harvest? And when when Norman left last time, you got real scared and shook, and you acted out of character. And she starts to almost cry, and then he realizes what had happened and what harvest means after this conversation, and he starts to cry. And he was like, "Connie and Norman, they got harvested, didn't they? They're no longer with us." And he starts to cry, and she cries, and she hugs him. And you have Don and Gayla in the back like, "Oh my God, he caught on so quickly for being so young." And it gets more amazing. This kid is just super smart. She talks to him, and she's like, "Look, I'm in a dilemma. We need to leave, but we can't take all the kids. And if my calculation about how long this is going to take until y'all kids get old enough to be shipped out, is probably going to last 2 years." And Dawn and Gayla's in the back, and they're like, "Huh?" And Phil caught on to what she meant. And Phil was like, "Okay, bet, I'll wait." So the plan is that they're going to leave everyone that's 5 and older, but after 2 years, they are going to come back to break in and not just get their brothers and sisters out. No, they're going to go even farther than that. They're going to make sure they save all the kids. And I was like, wow. And this idea was also spread off by Gilda, because she was also wondering what they're going to do with the other kids and their little ones that they can't bring with them. You're just going to leave their family here just to suffer, and their neighbors. So her hearing Gayla say that, she did it to talking to Phil, Emma, and that's when she got the courage and the plan to do this. And this is when they started, training the kids even harder to do different things. Not just run no more, but had to throw rocks and with rope to the other side, had to swing, had to use their arm muscles and carry their body weight and stuff like that. For this long trip they're going to have. Very long trip outside the walls. But, we leave the flashback and we go back to the future, and we see everybody just ziplining. The first one was Dawn, of course. And after him, you had the 2 little kids that are always together with the rocket bottles. They used that rocket bottles to shoot more ropes across. And now instead of having 1 rope, they had 3. And everybody was taking turn going 3 at a time. And then in the end of all that, we had Mother appeared, Isabel. And she looked at Elma, who was the last one to come down. And she's like, "Elma, don't leave me." And Elma was like, "Beautiful house that we love so much. Bye. Bye, kids, we'll come back. Bye, phone, we come back." Then she looked at Mama, and she was like, "Goodbye, Mama." And she got on the thing and she left. But she didn't look happy about it. Because, you know, these are little kids that she's leaving behind that she wanted to bring. But thanks to the situations, they really couldn't. But she left. And then we got this Isabel backstory. And at first, I was like, oh, now they're going to make us feel bad for Isabel. Because she failed in keeping these kids safe. So she's more likely going to get punished for it. And the punishment is most likely going to be death. But then after going through her flashback, I feel real, real bad for her. Especially with the revelation that we got. But before we go into that, I want to talk about her flashback. We noticed that she liked to climb trees a lot in her younger years. And with her climbing the trees, she found the wall. And that's when she realized about the cliff. And her mother, who was watching her, told her to come down and not to speak of this to anybody. So she stopped climbing up there and she ain't saying nothing about it. But she clicked in her head, you know, why are we surrounded like this? What's going on? And when she's climbing trees the next day, someone's playing a song. And it was a friend of hers that you can tell that she was infatuated with this kid. And he played a song for her, and after that, he gets sent off the next day, and she starts to cry. And she makes a decision a couple of years later from that when she gets shipped off, she was going to be a mother. And she did. And this is when we found out something funny. Not funny, but interesting. Every 12-year-old that gets signed up to be a mother, eventually they all become pregnant and have kids. Because we see Isabel in a cell with a belly, and she's humming the song that her boyfriend or male friend sang to her, and she's humming that same tune. And this is when things get super and crazy. I read the manga just to let y'all know, and I even forgot about this important information, and I'm like, oh wow, I have to read the whole manga again, because I completely forgot about this until they showed it. When Mama's going to the garden, having a flashback of, you know, recent up to date events, and she's in the garden, walking around, being aware of the kids, on them, because now she's thinking of them. She's not thinking about her own flashback no more. Now she's thinking of the flashback with the kids. And she hears someone sing the same exact tune. And I'm like, wait a minute. But no kid should know this tune. And then, hold and behold, I forgot about this character ability. Ray. Remember what Ray said a couple of episodes back? In case if y'all forgot, let me refresh your memory. He remembered everything since he was a fetus. A fetus up. So he remembered his mom singing that song. And he looked at her and he smiled and he was like, Mama, what did you give birth to me? And I was like, wow, how the whole story just intertwines and it just hits you in the feels. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. I completely forgot about that Isabel is biologically the mother of Ray. I completely forgot about that. And again, I read the manga and I just completely forgot about that. I'm like, what? I had to go back and read some chapters. I'm like, oh wow. And you know, she's now in the present time and she has her hair nice and long and released. It's not braided up no more. And she collects all the ropes and she looks at the kids, the direction that they ran to, and she starts to smile. From being sad, you see that she starts to smile, and she started to pray for the kids, hoping that they find light. Mainly Ray, because that's her son, and she wanted to escape, but she never had the courage. But Emma, who she sees like a future self, was the one to be able to break that wall she couldn't break. And she felt even happier, because not just Emma broke that wall, but for herself, but for the other kids and her son especially. And that was basically the end of the episode, with the kids just running off into the sunlight, into the night. And then the next day came in with sunrise, and they looked, and there was like a whole bunch of forest trees area. Like it's a whole forest, but all the trees are like Jurassic Park sized trees. And the sun is just like bright early morning, and it ends off there. And then we get the opening as the ending song for this episode, since this was the final episode. But man, this was a really great episode, really great stuff. Emotional and heart pumping and everything all in one. I have to say, I always loved the Promised Neverland manga, but after this anime adaptation, I love it even more. And the adaptation of it may not be 100% perfect. I know there's a lot of people complaining about certain things being cut off here and there, but it's good enough to the T to give, fans who are just anime onlys the point of the story. A very good story at that. But yeah, guys, this was episode 12 of The Promised Neverland. Last episode. Hopefully we get season 2 announcement by spring. Hopefully. Not spring, but summer or fall or summer or winter. Hopefully by then we get, that announcement. But I really want that season 2. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Leave down below your thoughts on this episode for those that have seen it. For you who have not seen it, go watch it. The episode is really good. If you haven't watched the anime at all, I advise you to catch up. It's just only 12 episodes, one season. So, and for those who have already seen it, go see it again. Really great episode, really great stuff. I'm about to bench press all these episodes again. I'll bench watch all these episodes again. Man, Promised Neverland. I'm telling you, if they don't win no awards in the Crunchyroll Awards, I'm calling BS. But that's all I have for you guys. Please share this video and give it a like.